Good to go.
All right. Hello, everybody. We're going to open the meeting today with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kind of hard to go in unison there. All right. So, Fiscal Officer, can you call the roll, please?
All right. Trustee Sierra, Trustee Sword, Trustee Jessberger.
Here.
Here. Township Administrator.
Here.
Chief of Fire.
Here.
Chief of Police.
Here.
And Superintendent of Public Works.
Here.
Our next meeting will be Wednesday, December 16th, 2020 at 12 p.m. I'm going to make a motion to accept the agenda with flexibility.
I'll second.
All right. Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
That was Jane, right? Okay.
Yes.
Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to make a motion to approve payroll.
I'll second.
Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm going to make a motion pay the elected officials at the highest allowed rate into 2021.
I'll second.
Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
No.
I'm sorry. So just to add, I just feel really uncomfortable when I saw that on the agenda, because it's a little disheartening to know that there are people in our township that are still kind of struggling and trying to go through stuff, that it just doesn't seem right to take a pay raise, whatever it may be, if it is there, when other needs are not being met at this time.
Thank you for that, Tess. I'm going to make a motion to allow the elected officials to participate in the township health insurance in 2021.
I'll second.
Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're going to move on to number 10 for the October fiscal report.
Okay, I'm just it's a little silly to try to type up the minutes and do this at the same time.
We skipped over the minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the agenda off my phone here. I apologize.
Or did I?
Go
No,
ahead.
you're right.
Go ahead and do the fiscal report. We already have a second, correct?
I don't know if we got a second, but I can certainly. Did somebody second the fiscal report?
I don't think we do have a second. I did not second. Did you, Jess?
No. I didn't.
Okay. We'll back up then. We'll go to the approval of the November 18th, 2020 meeting minutes.
Which I will second.
Thank you.
Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Now we'll go on to the October fiscal report, please.
Okay. And as I read this report, I believe the rollback in homestead posted in October, as did one of the COVID deposits. So our revenue was higher than usual for the month of October. All right, so October 1st, we had $7,206,167.35. Revenue in the month of October was $512,234.50. Expenditures in the month of October was $362,385.41, leaving us with an overall fund balance of $7,356,016.44. Another fiscal highlight, and we will talk about CARES towards the end of this, but in November, we did give money back to the county, sort of about half of what we received this year for COVID funding. So in the month of October, we received $147,000 for the COVID fund, and we returned a bit more than that to the county in November. Ready for the roll call or any discussion?
I'm ready for the roll.
Okay.
Sorry. Do we have a motion in a second? Because I think the chair just asked for the report.
Right. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the October 2020 fiscal report.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay. Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jesberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion to add the following statement at the end of bullet number 1 at the top of page 3 of the COVID leave policy. Quote, employees who experience a repeated situation from these categories may be eligible for further leave at the discretion of the department heads.
I'll second the motion. I just can add that this came out of conversation with Chief Fraley, and that it's completely possible that a person may have to experience quarantine more than once in the way things are going lately. And we originally only had a 14-day quarantine as part of the policy. So in the case of multiple exposures, it may be that a department head needs to grant that leave for more than one occasion.
Ready for the roll?
Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jesberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm going to make a motion to reaffirm the Clinton Township IAP as of this date.
I'll second.
So this is an ever-changing document. As we all know, everything's constantly changing when it comes to COVID. Just recently had a conversation with Chief Fraley this morning about the report that the CDC may change the quarantine guidelines. That has not been done yet, so it has not been changed yet. But just to keep in mind that this is an ever-changing document, and it's important that everybody stay up to date with any emails or anything that come out with regards to change.
All right. Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jesberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And number 13, CARES Act or related funding.
So I asked to put this just on the agenda as a discussion item. But if anybody's been following the news about proposals on stimulus packages, it remains to be seen whether Congress is ever going to get its act together about that. And so I just thought it was important to say when we're all together that we may or may not see additional funding come our way towards state and local governments. When the Democrats propose something, it's generally in there for state and local governments. When the Republicans propose something, it generally is not. And so we're going to have to see if they get something together where that compromise lies. So it's a good thing for everyone to just sort of do a gut check that we know, even though we may have ongoing COVID expenses, I think we should still keep track of them and note them. But also in the back of our minds, we know that we may or we may not get reimbursement for those. And so however that affects decisions on fiscal matters to just be operating under the assumption that no news is no news at the moment.
And these are federal funds, so it's more paperwork, but it's important paperwork to dot the I's and cross the T's on these expenses. So thanks for keeping that in our mind.
Thanks, Trustee
Yeah,
Thera.
we really thought, I really thought yesterday we were going to end up seeing something, but Mitch McConnell just turned down the latest bipartisan proposal yesterday. Wouldn't give it a chance. So keep a good thought that we get more help and that everybody else does too out there.
Much needed. All right, so we'll move on. I don't believe we have any presentations today, correct? And we'll go to community team reports.
All right. So I recently met with Matt and both of the chiefs to kind of give updates on where we're at with this process. And Chief Fraley has made a few referrals to the health department for their program. Those referrals are actually going really well. It's been a pretty easy process. Chief Jones said that within the last 9 months that we had the Franklin County CID, which deals with mental health, that they have assisted us with calls about 51 times. Because these are going really well at this point, we are going to continue to kind of sit back and monitor and then make more referrals as needed to see how well the process can continue. I don't know if Chief really wants to add anything else about the referrals that he made, but so far it's going pretty well. So we're excited to see what more information we have in a couple months.
Yeah, just to add, what I told Trustee Jesperger yesterday, we were not familiar with the Franklin County Public Health Community Health Worker Program prior to a couple of months ago when we first brought it to the board. So finding that information and that offering being available to us has been working out pretty well. So the referrals we've had, they've worked hard to make contact, and they've worked with the residents to assist them in any way they could to meet their need. But, you know, trying to give that a little more time to get a few more referrals in there and see how it goes, we think would be the best option.
That's awesome news.
Thanks to all of you for, getting residents more services. It's excellent.
How often are they reaching out? Do we know? During the follow-up period?
I've just received one follow-up with contact, and then I've received another follow-up from Franklin County if they've actually connected them with a resource. So within a week, I would receive a couple of emails from them as the referring agency letting me know how things have occurred.
That's so great. Good work, guys. We have a produce market coming up this Friday. Do we have numbers from the last market, Chief Fraley? I apologize.
It's okay. I know we had 42 doses of Narcan, and I thought we had just over 100 families come through. If those numbers sound right to you.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was more like 130. I know we had a great turnout.
You're right. I'm thinking of the one before. It was actually 140. It was a good turnout, and because it was just before Thanksgiving, we thought it was a good number. And like you said, our next market is December 4th, this coming Friday, 4 to 6, everybody will be wearing PPE and socially distanced. Again, if you're coming through, please wear a mask to help protect our volunteers too, as we're going to be wearing our PPE and trying to protect you. So we hope to see you there.
So this Friday's the 5th. Does that mean that we'll still have another one on the 19th? Are we still doing 2 a month?
Should be the 6th and the 20th. No, I'm sorry, the 4th and the 18th.
Yeah, this Friday, the 4th.
Okay, sorry. I was looking at Saturdays. All right, 4th and the 18th of this month.
Yes.
4 to 6 p.m. at 3820 Cleveland Ave. Enter on Brandon Street.
Correct. And just to add to that, the chat committee, through some discussion, decided we're continuing the emergency COVID 2 produce markets a month into the foreseeable future. And we will discuss after, I believe it was the first quarter of next year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Trustees, okay. So we'll be doing 2 a month at least till March, and then we'll sit down and see how we're doing at that point.
So it looks like we're doing those the 1st and 3rd Friday of every month.
For November, December, it changed a little because of the holidays.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be getting the calendar soon, and we'll get them out on social media and our website as soon as we get them.
Okay.
Chief, is this also a good time to plug the boxes that can be delivered to seniors?
Sure. The Community Supplemental Food Program, CSFP, we're currently delivering about 38 boxes a month to senior residents over 60 years of age that meet self-reported income level. But for a single individual living at home, if they make less than $1,400, they're eligible. For a couple, it's less than $1,800. So again, we've gone door to door in a few areas before COVID got really bad. So we ended up with 30 some boxes. We've held off on going back out door to door because of the situation we're in now with COVID. But word of mouth, it's been slowly getting out a little bit. And if anyone knows of anyone in need, obviously they can reach out to me through my email on the website, or they can call me directly. Work phones 614-679-9554.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other committee team reports? We're going to move on to Township Administrator. Mr. Huffman?
Just a couple items. As we've been talking with the COVID situation, the governor did just sign a House Bill 404, which included an amendment to extend the ability for local governments to conduct their public meeting electronically through July 1st, 2021. If that would not have happened, then I believe it would have ended the end of December 2020. So depending on how COVID goes, we do have the ability to do electronic meetings through July, or at least the last meeting in June. Some people may have been hearing about the Lenox AMC closing. They did actually post and advertise that they were permanently closing that location. However, the next day, an organization called the Phoenix Theaters, which is out of Knoxville, Tennessee, announced that they were reopening that theater. So it was closed for a day, and then a new business came in, which we've been hearing some rumor internally after AMC closed that that would be the case. So luckily it was. This will be the first theater for Phoenix in Ohio. So kind of nice to have the first movie theater for outside company come to Clinton Township. So I'm a little worried to begin with, but good news that the facility will be reused for a theater and continue in that capacity. And then also my monthly report had been submitted to the trustees at the end of last month.
Thanks, Matt. I did read, I believe on Columbus Underground, that announcement for Phoenix that they were planning on hoping to keep the AMC employees in place. So that's good news as well. I'm glad to hear that.
There's a-
Also in the article was something about opening by Christmas, which I'm not sure how, with the COVID and everything, how that actually will work. And they did also discuss the ticket prices and concession costs would be very similar to what they were before.
The article I read in the Dispatch said that they're able to keep most of the employees. So we don't know if it's all, but great news that it's not going to be vacant.
Do we have any contact information for them yet, Matt?
I have not received anything as of yet. I can reach out to their website or whatever and try to obtain some of that information.
Okay.
I'm going to move on to fire. Chief Fraley.
Yes, we have a few things. We would like to request a PO not to exceed $4,200 payable to Heritage Fire Equipment for repairs to the pump on Extra Engine 61. This will be paid out of line item 2111-220-323.
So moved.
A second.
Trustee Sear, Trustee Jesberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes.
And an update for holiday parade. For now, we have the parade scheduled for December 19th, starting at 9 a.m. at both locations. We will have a Santa on a fire truck. We will not be handing out candy during the parade. Santa will be staying mounted on the fire truck, waving at the crowd as we drive through the township. Again, just trying to reduce crowds and contact. And since Halloween, with the CDC restrictions that were in place for Halloween, it prevented us from being out handing out candy. And as we all know, the pandemic has not gotten any better since then. In fact, we're in a worse situation. So due to that, we're not going to be handing out the candy this year. But we will have Santa through the township.
Glad to hear that.
All right. And I also sent a monthly report to the board this morning. We're a little late trying to get some information from our CAD system, but that wasn't available. So I had to wait till this morning to send it out to you, but I'll read through it real quick. I started this one off with a COVID-19 update for the department. In November, we've seen another increase in positive COVID-19 patients. Hospitals notify the division when we have transported a positive patient to their facility. Since I actually receive the emails daily, so we're now receiving these notifications daily. Prior to November, I might see 3, 4 of these a week. Now I'm seeing 1, 2 a day, and usually the notifications may have 2 or more patients listed on them. So we are definitely seeing an increase in the positives. We've had 2 full-time firefighters test positive and were isolated in the month of November. Luckily, they were both on the same shift, but at separate times. One was earlier in the month and actually came back to work, and then the other was a couple of days later. And we currently have 3 part-time firefighters that were quarantined for 14 days. And just last night, we put another full-time firefighter on 14-day quarantine due to a contact with a relative. So with all this, we continue to operate under the incident command system model, with each full-time member assigned specific functions such as operations, supplies, that type of thing. So each of our 9 full-time firefighters are actually taking care of a COVID-19 specific task. While they've been doing this since March, and but it's just continuing. So under responses, again, due to a recent computer-aided dispatch upgrade, I don't have any information available for the responses. We're still actually completing November reports as information becomes available. Under training, the division logged 83 hours of training on various EMS and fire topics. The Clinton Township Training Center completed a fire safety inspector class with 7 students. Speaking of the training center, we were hoping to open up later, after January, when we thought COVID was actually doing a little better a couple months ago, but obviously that's not the case. So anything with the training center is going to be on hold for a little while from this point forward. Under fire prevention, the fire safety inspector conducted 33 inspections and updated pre-plan books with current information for building contacts and occupancy use. Inspector Feldman is also the instructor for the fire safety inspector course. And under community outreach and partnering agencies, the firefighters assisted with the free produce markets on the 6th and 20th. We had a total of 86 doses of Narcan was distributed at the markets. We had 38 boxes of food were delivered through the CSFP program on the 20th. And we had 5 free smoke alarms distributed to township residents.
Thanks so much.
And one little addition, I just got an email. We received, we were awarded a grant from FM Global today to assist us with the purchase of Toughbooks, the small laptop Toughbook computers that we use on the trucks. I applied for that grant several months ago, so I was kind of surprised to see that email come in this morning, and obviously very happy, but thought I would share that with you.
Yay, good work. Grants are always great. Thank you. I'm going to move on to police. Chief Jones.
Unmute myself there. Good afternoon. Just have a couple things. Monthly report was sent out yesterday. Unfortunately, we're still seeing a rise in overdoses and narcotics runs. We had 3 DOAs last month on the east side of the township. We had 2 separate shootings in the township, both residential areas. No one hit, thank goodness, but we are seeing a kind of a spike in gun-related crimes. We had an armed robbery of the AutoZone Saturday morning. Yesterday, late afternoon, officers responded to Vances along with myself. We had a suspect that was out of an armed burglary that was armed trying to purchase another firearm at a local gun shop. So a foot pursuit ensued. Suspect was apprehended in the rear carriage house apartments. Original burglary occurred on CPD, so they came and took over the incident. But suspect was apprehended. Thank goodness, no altercation after that. So knock on wood. But we are seeing a lot more gun violence, gun crimes surrounding the township as well in the city and the county. So a little disturbed by that. Our theft calls on the east side of the township are up probably about 20%. So misdemeanor crimes, domestic violence calls are way down. I would expect with COVID that those would have been a lot higher, but status quo in that area. So we are working with Franklin County Engineers Office. They are helping us with speed trailers and some of our hot zones that we've gotten calls for assistance from residents on. Kenny Road, Ferris Road, and Walford. Working with engineers, they're going to do speed studies for us with the speed trailers. It was supposed to start last week, but because of COVID, some of the county engineer employees to do that for us have been ill and out of the office or quarantined. So residents that are listening, that is coming. You'll see those within the next few weeks as they put those out. So what that does, that'll give us speed counts, traffic counts, where we can have officers respond to certain times when we have those high speed counts that just during those times when we can get to the traffic enforcement a little better. So just stick with us. The other item I have is our Heroes and Helpers program for 2020. Typically, over the last few years, we've been able to partnership with Target stores at Lenox, where the officers will take selected children from our local elementary schools out to kind of do the shop with a cop thing. However, this year, because of COVID, Target's not allowing that to occur in their stores because of social distancing. So this year, we're going to change that theme to kind of sleighs and sirens. So the officers this year have donated roughly $800 to the cause. Target has also donated, and the Infinity 99-cent store gave us an annual donation as well this year. So this is kind of our biggest year yet. We're going to assist 30 families this year. So we have those packages arriving from wish list that are being delivered to the station. And then I believe December 12th is going to be delivery day. So we're gonna have several officers in the cruisers and the van that are gonna be dropping the packages off at those families up here in the north end in the township. And so that should be a pretty decent event. It's a little different for us this year, but we're still gonna make it happen for these folks.
So awesome. Thanks for making that happen, Chief Jones. It's much needed, especially this year with everybody's financial impact due to COVID, and way to bring a smile to everybody's face, especially the littles.
Yeah, we've been able to make this grow for the last 3 years. This year, we actually also have a few of Minerva Park officers getting involved. So we're hopefully going to be joining, making this bigger every year. So it's been a continued success.
Thanks again. All right, we're going to move on to Public Works Department. Superintendent Flagg.
Good afternoon. The board should have my monthly report I emailed Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember. Not a lot going on in public works other than leaves. We did have our first snow call out yesterday morning. We had our roads cleared before most of you were up and on your way to work. Leaf collection was postponed this week due to being down a crew member and the storm, but I promise you your leaves will be picked up today and tomorrow.
Perfect. A little hard to pick up frozen leaf piles covered in snow. All right. Code compliance has no new business. Any appreciations?
I'm going to jump in and thank Chief Fraley for keeping us safe and that policy that needs to be updated and finding the staff N95 masks. And I know all the management help on that, but I live with my 81-year-old dad, and thank you.
I'm going to give a shout out to our lovely police department on their work for that Helpers and Heroes. I know that's a pretty coveted program that you guys look forward to doing every year. And I appreciate all of our officers and staff that put in their own hard-earned money and time to get resources to make things like that happen for all of the kids in our township that need it. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I should apologize up front to those families that if the wrapping doesn't look all that great, it was due to COVID.
Gift bags. When in doubt, gift bags. All right, I'm going to move on to other items and make a motion to enter into an executive session per ORC 121.22 G4 for the purpose of preparing for reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
I'll second.
Trustee Sierra, Trustee Jessberger, Trustee Sword.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Are you done? Do you have more activities?
Helena, you're muted.
Back in session, that one. And I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.